Welcome to Smart Brown Voices, your weekly podcast featuring diverse voices from around the world, giving you insights on how others made it big in their respective fields. Now sit back, grab a notebook, and get ready to be inspired. And don't forget to use hashtag #SmartBrownVoices to share insights, moments of wisdom, and things from the show that inspire you. And now, here's your host, social media nerd and technology activist, Mr. Mike Street.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Mr. Mike Street, and we are back with episode 70 of Smart Brown Voices. Can you believe it that we have made it this far? So, have to thank everybody out there who's been listening to the show for the past 2 years and who's been supporting. Big shout out to Apple iTunes for featuring us a few months ago as one of the top Black business podcasts. And happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there, because it's Thanksgiving week. I'm actually here down in DC with the family and chilling and ready to have some turkey and do all that stuff and kind of just chill out and relax and try to get over 2016, which was probably the worst year on record. But I just came back from Afrotech, which was an amazing conference, and I've met a bunch of amazing people, and then we had a really cool event out in New York with WeWorks. And so today's guest is someone who I met from from our WeWorks event. So Victoria, why don't you introduce yourself to the Smart Brown Voices audience?
Hi, everyone. My name is Victoria Coker. I'm the creator of ColoredContent, a video streaming site for Black web series. And congrats, Mike, on your podcast. It's good to have another year and be doing great things.
Thank you. So, I'm excited for what you're doing because streaming services like Netflix and Hulu, they're all the rage right now. But what you're doing is that you're curating and doing deals with creators of color and making it so that they can get their content out to the masses. So tell us a little bit about ColoredContent and how you kind of came up with the whole business model.
Yeah, so for me, I cut off my cable in 2014, and I actually was looking for a whole bunch of content and couldn't find it. Like, even if you go to Netflix or Hulu, you find content cool, you look on Hulu, and you look for content created by people of color. Netflix has a little section, but on Hulu, they have an Asian section and a Latino section, but no section for people from the African diaspora. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. So there was kind of no easy way to find content. So I was like, I'm going to create it. There has to be something talking about us where we can find narratives different from what we're looking at on TV. A lot of people kind of like, we've seen the rapper drug dealer thing. I want to have a whole bunch of different stories. Like, that's one story, and that's great. But it's great to have different stories, science fiction stories, romance, and comedy. Because, as Black people, we have a whole bunch of different stories to tell. So that's how I created the idea. But I also wanted to inspire people. Recent events that have happened, like you look at something like Bill Cosby. He's been kind of a hero media-wise. And he's kind of put a damper on what we've been doing. So it's great to hear other people who are doing it. They're maybe not as big as Bill Cosby, but there are other people who are doing it and making it happen, and the next generation can do it too. So I kind of tell their stories, and I have exclusive interviews with the media makers behind these series as well on the site.
Awesome. So you have shows like DC Yuppies and Situationships. So how did you find all of these web series? Because, like for me, I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube, and sometimes it's really hard to find like good series from creators of color unless like someone really like refers it to me. So I think what your site does is kind of solve that problem, because you're bringing all of this great content into one location for us to consume.
Yeah, so I was having the exact same problem finding content on YouTube at first too. And one was just doing research. The algorithm for Google, after you look for so much content, you actually start to get content after a while, like kind of just recommend stuff to you. But you have to, like, I've been doing this since officially, like I had this idea since 2014. So I've been looking at content since 2014. So now I'm getting recommended Black web series, but a lot of the series creators don't know how to work with the algorithm from Google. So it's hard for you to find it all in one place. So with that said, sorry. Um, yeah, some of the things I find, and then people come to me. I do a lot of networking, so someone may see something, an article that was out, and they're like, "Hey, look at this great web series," or they'll find me by posting something I posted on Twitter, and they'll just say, "Hey, I have a web series," and they'll submit it. And for the most part, as long as it's quality content, I'm willing to put it up because I think that, like I said before, there's so many different stories that people have to tell. So I don't want to discriminate. There's so many gatekeepers out there who are saying you're not good enough. I don't want to be another person saying these people aren't good enough because they are great, and people need to see it.
So, what were some of the technical things that you had to learn or put into place in order to create, your own streaming service? Because I know there's a lot of things with like hosting and getting a website going, and actually, doing storage for, video uploads can be quite costly. So what are some of the technical and I guess some of the costs that came with, putting a business like this together?
I mean, obviously, hosting, like you said, is really a big thing. Right now, I'm bootstrapping it. So I kind of worked with the WordPress side and purchased hosting through GoDaddy to make it work. And I have some coding experience, so HTML, CSS, PHP. So a lot of modifying a template that I found made it easy for me to kind of have a streaming service. But moving forward, I'm thinking bigger and better. So, possibly going to like an Amazon Web Services. That's obviously something needed to host all this content because content is being created all the time. And having a dedicated developer because, I have such a small window of things that I know. I'm more a front end person. So that's kind of where I am. But yeah, more designing, graphic design, Photoshop, Illustrator, and just basic CMS skills, CSS skills, HTML skills as well. Just knowing CMS, knowing how to kind of work a content management system like WordPress, to make it all work and to find solutions because I'm doing it by myself. So I kind of had to find a way to make it work. And then for people to easily find this content. Otherwise, I probably would just have links. Just one big blog page with links if I didn't do it this way to start.
So talk to us a little bit about your marketing strategy. How have you been taking, the website ColoredContent.com, and how have you really been pushing it out there? What have been some tactics that have really worked for you to really drive membership and also drive web traffic?
So I want to say this first. The Black community, it's sad to say, but a lot of us don't support each other. Like you can say something and people, just by you saying it, people will be like, oh, okay, cool, I'll check it out later and never check it out. So you kind of have to get endorsements. And my day job, I do marketing. I've been doing marketing for almost 10 years now. So I know some skills and some tricks of the trade. You kind of need endorsements. So I'm always looking for PR opportunities, reaching out to publications, bloggers. I think that really works well. So if you hear about it on Smart Brown Voices, then people are like, okay, wow, someone else is endorsing this. Someone else is saying this is real. Someone else is saying this exists aside from the person who's creating it. They're saying it's great as well. Also, just working with the media makers. The media makers, they kind of endorse what I'm doing too, because they love the idea. They love the mission because we're building this platform for the community to kind of empower the community. So they're always talking about it. They're always telling their friends about it. They're always speaking about it. And networking, it's kind of like a cliche, but your network is your net worth. So me speaking to my friends and my circle on Facebook, and I'm, always posting things up. They're like, wow, this is real. This is serious. This is great. So they're telling people about it. They're telling me about opportunities. People are tagging me in things like, Victoria, this would be great. You should check out this web series. You should check out this event. You should go here. So networking and using my community is really been the biggest thing. I mean, I love Facebook, but sometimes there's so much noise in digital advertising that people tend to ignore stuff. They don't really pay attention. So building my community, building the community, I think those two things have really worked for me so far in building my audience and subscription.
And I think a lot of people also forget that we exist offline now. There's of course there's Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff, but I think from just from going to Afrotech and then also from the WeWorks event where me and you met at, having that in your face, one-on-one connection, so you can kind of, even if it's 30 seconds to explain, this is what I'm working on, this is what I'm doing, like, can you support me? I think that kind of emotional connection, really works really well with when you're trying to get your point across. And, like I tell a lot of people, you really have to get out there and you have to kiss a lot of babies in
You
order
do.
to get, what you're doing off the ground.
Yeah, I'm kissing tons of babies. I'm always networking. I told myself before, I'm like, I'm gonna go to an event like every week. I totally don't do it, but like last week I went to 3 events, so that kind of made up for it. And then earlier this month I went to the Blogalicious conference, and I pitched, and I met so many people, and they were like, this has to be here. This needs to be in Atlanta. This needs to be where I'm from. This needs to be in Chicago. We need to physically see you here. So that point is so true. Like, just going out, like, people forget the social part of social media. So you kind of need to be more social to kind of build a brand or build a company or a service.
And if you guys haven't been to Blogalicious, make sure that you are looking at their website, beblogalicious.com, and actually go back into the Smart Brown Voices archive where we did an interview with Stacey Ferguson, who is the co-founder of Blogalicious. So make sure you check out that episode where she talks about how she got sponsorships to really help create the amazing conference that is Blogalicious. I was supposed to go this year, but some trickery was going on, so I didn't get to go, get to go. But I
Oh,
was
you
kind
missed
of,
out.
I know it's one of my favorite conferences of the year. But I go to so many conferences, it's like crazy. I have to. I don't know, but like you were saying, it really is. People forget the social part of social media, and going to those conferences really is beneficial. Like, you get to meet people from the West Coast or in other places where you break outside of your comfort zone, and I think that really helps um, with the businesses that everyone is trying to build. So you have to like do something a little different. Go to If you see a meetup group that's different than what you're normally used to going to, like, check out that meetup group. You never know. Actually did that once and like made a whole bunch of like new connections because all these people are like, who's this guy? I've never heard of him, never seen him, but he sounds really cool. And I've actually made a lot of business contacts and have done a lot of work for a lot of people out of this organization just because I decided to break out of the comfort zone and go to a different type of meetup and meet some different people. And, that really generated a lot of revenue for me. So you have to do all that kind of stuff, guys, as you're embarking on your business ventures out there. So, Victoria, tell us, what about mobile? How has mobile kind of changed the scope of your business and really business as a whole? Because you said you've been in marketing for 10 years, and I think we've really seen the rise of mobile come into play, and especially with things like online video as well.
Yeah, so just to start with ColoredContent, I plan to build an app next year because mobile is so important. Like, even though the site is mobile friendly, there's so many things you can do with mobile that you can't do with a website. You can't do with a web app. So mobile just changes the way everyone has to think. You have to think about 2 different screens, or even like, it depends on how many devices really. You have to think about so many different screens, how to advertise, how to get people, because there's something really great about mobile push notifications. So you can actually like alert someone on their phone, kind of giving them their own kind of text message saying, this is the product we have right now. This is what's happening. And then it seems like every day, or, there's always something new advertisers or companies are adding for you to advertise and get your voice seen and heard, because everyone's on their phone. They're looking at their phone everywhere they go, on the train, while they walk. So getting that real estate, getting on mobile now is important, because people aren't going to always be at a laptop and a desktop. As technology just continues to become better, people are going to be on their phone more and more. So finding a way to be a part of mobile instead of shunning it is just the biggest thing you have to do right now, like tomorrow. Figure out a plan,
Exactly.
figure out how to be a part of it.
Yes, definitely. Well, Victoria, thank you so much for coming on today's episode of Smart Brown Voices. This is episode 70, so you're on a good episode, another milestone for us, because we 30 more to go to 100. So tell everyone how they can reach you on the internet if they have a web show out there that they want to maybe get hosted on ColoredContent.
Yeah, please. You can contact me, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, ColoredContent, or you can email me at team@coloredcontent.com. If you want to hit me up personally, add Vicky, ADDVIC_E on Instagram and Twitter.
Awesome, and guys, we'll put all the links to all of her to the website and to all of her social media, so you can reach out to her, and also to the email address. Because if you guys are creators out there listening to this show, we want you to get your content up on the site, because we need to really, there's like billions of videos on YouTube, and it's hard, so if you're doing something, it's kind of hard to bubble up a lot of that diverse content, because of, like Veronica was saying earlier, the algorithm is very, very specific, and you have to really click through a lot of stuff before it actually recommends that stuff to you. So you really need to, seek out these opportunities with a site like this, so that you can get your content out there. So we'll check you out next time. Peace.
Thanks for listening to Smart Brown Voices with your host, Mr. Mike Street. If you like what you just heard, we hope you'll leave a review on iTunes and tell your friends and colleagues. Be sure to check out our archive section on our website for previous podcasts, and make sure to follow us on social media. This has been a Mr. Mike Street production. Join us next time for another edition of Smart Brown Voices, and be inspired.